Someone please help me understand my trans child. This is not posturing or political or time for a rant. Please. My child is a real person, and I'm a real mom, and I need perspective. I have been a tomboy, low-maintenance woman most of my life. My first child was born a girl. From the beginning, she was super into fashion and makeup. When she was 3, her babysitter took her to get nails and hair extensions, and she loved it. She grew into watching makeup and fashion boys, and has always been ahead of the curve. Not going to lie, it's been hard for me. I've struggled to see that level of interest in outward appearance as anything but shallow. But I've tried to support her with certain boundaries, which she's always pushed. For example, she had a meltdown at 12 yo because I wouldn't buy her an $80 6-color eyeshadow palette. But I've held my nose and tried. You might notice up until now, I've referred to her as she, her. That's speaking to how it was then, not misgendering. About 2 years ago, they went through a series of coming outs. First lesbian, then bi, then pan, then male, then non-binary, then female, now male again. I'm sure I missed a few, but it's been a roller coaster. They tasted the whole rainbow. Through all of this, they have also been dealing with serious issues like eating disorders, self-harm, abuse recovery, compulsive lying, etc. Each time they came out, it was this big deal. They were shaky and afraid, because I'm religious and they expected a big blow-up. But while I'm religious, I apply my religion to myself, not to others. I've taught them what I believe, but made space for them to disagree. I think they were disappointed it wasn't more dramatic, which is why the coming outs kept coming. Now, they are comfortable with any pronouns. Most days they go by she, her, while identifying as a boy. But never a man. Sometimes, she, her offends them. I've defaulted to they as the least likely to cause drama, but I don't think they like my overall neutrality with the whole process. But here is the crux of my question. As someone who has never subscribed to gender norms, what does it mean to identify as a gender? I've never felt male or female. I've asked them to explain why they feel like a boy, how that feels different than feeling like a girl or a woman, and they can't explain it. I don't want to distress them by continuing to ask, so I came here. Honestly, the whole gender identity thing completely baffles me. I don't see any meaning in gender besides as a descriptor of biological differences. I've done a ton of online research and never found anything that makes a lick of sense to me. Any insight? Edit. Wow. I wasn't expecting such an outpouring of support. Thank you to everyone who opened up your heart and was vulnerable to a stranger on the internet. I hope you know you deserve to be cared about. Thank you to everyone who sent me resources and advice. It's going to take me weeks to get through everything and think about everything, and I hope I'm a better person in the other side. I'm so humbled by so many of the responses. LGBTQ+ and religious perspectives alike were almost all unified on one thing. People deserve love, patience, respect, and space to not understand everything the right way right now. My heart has been touched in ways that had nothing to do with this post, and were sorely needed. Thank you all. I wish I could respond to everyone. Every single one of you deserve to be seen. I will read through everything, even if it takes me days. Thank you. A million times thank you. For the rest of you. ... And that's all I'm going to say. Finally, a lot of you have made some serious assumptions, some to concern and some to judgmentalism. My child is in therapy, and has been since they were 8 years old. Their father is abusive, and I have fought a long, hard battle to help them through and out of that. They are now estranged from him for about 4 years. The worst 4 years of my life. There's been a lot of suffering and work. Reddit wasn't exactly my first order of business, but this topic is one so polarizing where I live I couldn't hope to get the kind of perspective I needed offline. So you can relax. They are getting professional help as much as I know how to do. I'm involved in their media consumption and always have been on my end, though I had no way to limit it at their dad's, and much of the damage is done. Hopefully that helps you sleep well. Your child should be in therapy. Parents are not good therapists. They seem, like most teenagers, to be overwhelmed by thoughts of identity and ideology, and a therapist would help them to organize and prioritize these. I want to commend you for trying so hard to understand what your child is going through, bewildering as it is. You are courageously exploring unknown territory in an attempt to understand something your child may not be old enough to appreciate. I hope they will someday. I think your role is to be both the safe harbor that your child can return to, someone who will accept them no matter what, while also being alert to any real dangers like depression or self-harm. You are best able to decide whether your child needs therapy or whether they can navigate these changes without it. Then there is you. Parenting can sometimes be a thankless job, and people do get judgmental. Do you have a support system for this turbulent time? Other parents going through similar things perhaps? Look after yourself. Parent of a trans child here. Your child needs therapy. Not because they're crazy or something is wrong that needs fixing, but because they are going through something that they need to talk through and they don't know how. A professional will help them work through it. My child transitioned and therapy helped him solidify his identity. On the other hand, a friend of mine had a child who came out as trans but after a year of therapy realized she wasn't trans. It was another issue they were working through that just manifested in a way they didn't understand. Whatever your child is going through, a therapist will help them get it sorted.